Good morning, everyone. Today we shall discuss the topic meiosis. Meiosis is a type of cell division. Earlier we had discussed about mitosis. Now another type of cell division is meiosis. Basically, meiosis is known as reductional division. Reductional means basically what is happening in meiosis. If suppose the parent cell is diploid, having 2n number of chromosomes, then by the process of meiosis, the progeny cells will be made, and now the progeny cells, they will be having half the number of chromosomes that the parent has. If the parent is having 2n number of chromosomes, then the new cells formed will be having n number of chromosomes. That's why it is known as reductional division. Okay, and meiosis always takes place in case of diploid cells. Means the cells having 2n number of chromosomes. Meiosis never takes place in case of haploid cells. Okay, now by meiosis, at the last, 4 progeny cells are being made. It means from 2n parent, 4 haploid progeny cells will be made. Clear? Now, if I'll compare meiosis with the mitosis, I told you earlier, mitosis is equational division in which the progeny cells produced, they are having the same number of chromosomes as the parent has. In mitosis, I told you, if the parent cell is having suppose 2n number of chromosome, then the progeny cells produced will also be having 2n number of chromosomes. Or I can say if the parent cell is haploid, then the progeny cell will be also haploid. And if the parent cell is diploid, then the progeny cell will also be diploid. Mitosis can take place in both, in diploid cells as well as in haploid cells. But if I talk about meiosis, meiosis is reductional division in which the progeny cells contains half the number of chromosomes as the parent contains. Okay, and meiosis takes place only in case of diploid cells, not in case of haploid cells. Now, next difference between mitosis and meiosis is mitosis results in the formation of 2 daughter cells. In case of mitosis, from one parent cell, how many daughter cells are being made? It is 2. Okay, 1 and 2. But if I talk about meiosis, from one parent cell, how many daughter cells are being made? It is 4. So at last, meiosis results in the formation of 4 daughter cells. Okay, so basically let me give you an example of reproduction. Basically sexual reproduction, as you know, 2 parents are involved. One is male and one is female. Suppose here is the male parent and next is the female partner. Okay. If I talk about human being only, we are diploid having 46 number of chromosomes. So let it be 2n. We are 2n. Now in case of sexual reproduction, as you are aware of the fact that it results in the formation of gamete. From the male gamete will be produced, and similarly from the female gamete will be produced. So from the male there will be production of male gamete, and from the female there will be production of female gamete. Okay. Now the production of male and female gamete simultaneously, respectively from the male and female partner, it takes place by the process of meiosis. As I told you, in the male, 2n number of chromosomes are present, that is male is diploid. From this diploid male gamete will be produced by the process of meiosis. And I told you, meiosis is reductional division. So how many number of chromosomes will be present in the male gamete? Yes, it will be half. So here n number of chromosomes are present in the male gamete, and similarly n number of chromosomes are present in the female gamete. So basically gametogenesis, that is the process of formation of gametes. It is taking place by meiosis. Meiosis ensures the presence of, I can say, haploid phase in the life cycle of a diploid organism. Like human beings are diploid having 2n set of chromosomes, but when there is production of gamete, then at that time there is meiosis, which results in the formation of male and female gamete respectively, having haploid set of chromosomes. Now again, as you know, after that there will be fertilization. Male and female gamete will fuse and it results in the formation of zygote, right? Again, n and n number of chromosome results in the formation of diploid zygote. So basically meiosis is reducing the number of chromosomes by half. Then after that fertilization is taking place, which ensures that the diploid phase in the life cycle is again attained. Am I clear? Now, let us talk about the meiosis. Meiosis includes two stages, that is meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. And second point I told you, meiosis is reductional division. Third, again I told you, it results in the formation of 4 haploid progeny cells. Now, in meiosis 1, there will be division of nucleus, there will be division of cell structure. Okay, and similarly in meiosis 2, there will be division of nucleus, there will be division of the content of the cell. So basically I can say karyokinesis, that is division and dividing the chromosomal matter of the nucleus in two parts. So basically I can say in meiosis, karyokinesis is again taking place 2 times, cytokinesis is again taking place how many times? 2 times, right? But DNA replication is taking place only once. And when it is taking place, how it is taking place, we will discuss now. Okay? So now, firstly let us talk about meiosis 1. This meiosis 1 is further divided into 4 stages. Okay? First one is prophase 1. In mitosis, I told you again 4 stages are there: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Similarly, here also we are having prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. But if I'll compare, then there is variation. Okay, prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1 and telophase 1. Okay. If I'll compare the first stage, that is prophase 1 of meiosis 1 and prophase of the mitosis, then there is huge variation. This prophase, it is quite long process, it is quite complicated process. Okay, so now let us study about these 4 phases one by one. So now let us talk about prophase 1. Basically, an important feature of this prophase is the recombination. Obviously, there are chromosomes from the male partner and from the female partner. So basically, in this phase, the chromosomes, they are exchanging their genetic material, which as a result will lead to variation. As you can see, in sexual reproduction, variations are being produced. They are being produced in this phase only, that is prophase 1. Now this phase is again divided into 5 subphases. First one is leptotene. Second one is zygotene. Third one is pectine. Fourth one is diplotene. And last is diakinesis. Okay. So now let us study these one by one. First is leptotene. So basically in leptotene, as I told you in mitosis also, initially in the cell, the chromosomes, they are not distinct. They are present in the form of a thread that is intermingled. That is known as chromatin. So what will happen firstly in the leptotene? What will happen firstly in the leptotene phase? Suppose the cell is there, nuclear membrane is there, and inside the nuclear membrane there will be thread-like structure. Okay. Now in leptotene, what will happen? There will be condensation, and you can see the proper structure of the chromosome, that is centromere in the center, and then 2 sister chromatids like this. Clear? So basically this is happening in leptotene. The chromatin material will change into chromosome. No doubt the proper structure of the chromosome will be visible either in the late leptotene or in the initial phase of zygotine. But the initiation starts in the leptotene only. Okay. Chromatin material condenses and results in the formation of distinct chromosomes like this. Clear? This chromosome, it is having centromere in the center, and these are two sister chromatids, 1 and 2. Okay. Now, let us talk about zygotine. In zygotine, basically what is happening? Two pair of chromosomes like 1, 2. In the similar way, two pair of chromosomes, they come together and they make a pair. Two chromosomes, like first, this is first, okay. Now here is the second one. So basically in zygotine, two chromosomes are making a pair like this. Can you see? Two are there and they are making a pair, and this together is known as homologous chromosomes. The pairing of two chromosomes is known as homologous chromosomes. Okay. Now, it results in the formation of a synaptian complex. Now, here as you can see, how many sister chromatids are present? 1, 2. Okay. If I talk about the second chromosome, 1, 2. So, total 4 are there. So, this stage is also known as tetrad or bivalent. Bivalent because two chromosomes are there. Tetrad because 4 chromatids are there. Clear? If I talk about these two, they are sister chromatids. Again these two, sister chromatids. But if I talk about this two, this and this, they will be non-sister chromatids. Am I clear? So basically in zygotine, there is pairing of two chromosomes resulting in homologous chromosomes, and this association is synapses, and this complex can be called as synaptonymal complex. Okay. Now, what will happen basically? These two non-sister chromatids, like I told you, this is labeled as 1, this is 2. So, first and second, these will be termed as non-sister chromatids. Okay. So, now, let us talk about the next phase of meiosis 1, that is Pectine. Basically, Pectine is characterized by the formation of recombination nodules. Now, what are these? As I told you in zygotine, there is pairing of two chromosomes. There is pairing of two homologous chromosomes. Now, in this stage, that is in Pectine stage, there will be crossing over between the non-sister chromatids of the two homologous chromosomes. Like this. Suppose here, I am having one chromosome and this is the another pair of the homologous chromosome. As you know, in zygotine, there is formation of homologous pair of chromosome, right? This is also known as tetrad or bivalent. So what will happen? I told you this is and this is first and first. These two are sister chromatids and second. These two are again sister chromatids. But if I talk about first and 2, these are non-sister chromatids. So now what will happen in Pectine stage, that is third stage of meiosis 1, there will be crossing over between non-sister chromatids of the bivalent. So these are non-sister chromatids. So they will cross over each other like this. Just see it carefully. There will be crossing over. First, and here just see the second one. Can you see the crossing over? So here in the similar way, there will be crossing over. Clear? So basically, Pectine is the stage in which there is crossing over between the non-sister chromatids of the pair of homologous chromosome. So basically in the crossing over, what is happening actually? The genetic material of one chromosome is being transferred to the another one, and the genetic material of this one is being transferred to the another one. Suppose, as I told you, this takes place in case of sexual reproduction during the formation of gametes. So what is happening? Suppose one is from the parent male and one is from the female. So basically there is crossing of the genetic material between the male and the female, which as a result leads to variation. Okay, so now this is pectine. These are recombination nodules where the crossing over, or I can say the exchange of genetic material is taking place. Now let us talk about the fourth stage, that is diplotin. Now what will happen in diplotin? Basically these two bivalents or these two chromosomes, homologous chromosomes, they will start separating, they will start moving away from each other, except at the site of crossing over. Means the whole body of the chromosome will start moving away from each other except at these two places. Okay, and now these two X-shaped structure, these are known as chiasmata. So basically diplotin is characterized by the formation of chiasmata. Chiasmata basically X-shaped structure which are formed as a result of crossing over during the diplotin when the chromosomes are moving away from each other. But the X-shaped structure that is formed by a crossing over between the non-sister chromatids, it will remain as it is. Like the chromosomes, the bivalents are moving away from each other except at the site of recombination. So this X-shaped structure is chiasmata. Okay, so diplotin is characterized by the presence of chiasmata. Now the next and the last stage of meiosis one is diakinesis. Now what is happening basically in diakinesis? There is terminalization of chiasmata. Means both the chromosomes will now be separated. Both the chromosomes will now be separated. But now first chromosome is having a little bit genetic material of the second chromosome, and second chromosome is having a little bit genetic material of the first chromosome, which will result in the variation in the progeny child or in the progeny cell. Okay, now after the completion of prophase 1, there results the next phase, that is metaphase 1. So now let us talk about metaphase 1. Now metaphase 1. Basically in metaphase 1, the chromosomes, they will align themselves on the equatorial plate. Suppose here I am drawing the cell. One more thing, in diakinesis, that is the last stage of prophase 1. In diakinesis, there is dissolution of chiasmata as I told you. Plus the nuclear membrane will be broken. Now there will be no nuclear membrane, or I can say the chromosomes, they are fully scattered in the cytoplasm. There is no nuclear membrane, there is no nucleolus. Okay. So now in metaphase 1, what will happen? The chromosomes will align them on the equatorial plate. Centrioles are there at the poles. This you had read in mitosis also. Okay. Now these centrioles, they will result in the formation of microtubules. Okay. Like this. I am drawing 3. These are the microtubules. Now chromosomes, they will align on the equatorial plate like this. Centromere. As you know, microtubules are attached with the kinetochore, and kinetochore are present on the centromere. So first chromosome like this. Second and third. Okay. Same here. First, second, one sister chromatid, second sister chromatid, and here. So as you can see in this, the chromosomes are aligned on the center. They are aligned in the center along the metaphasic plate. So this is known as metaphase 1. Okay. Now the next stage is anaphase 1. Now what will happen basically? The chromosomes will start moving away from each other due to the push and pull of the microtubules like this. Suppose here is the cell membrane. I'll not draw the nuclear membrane. As I told you, in dikinesis there will be dissolution of the nuclear membrane. So what will happen here? Centrioles are there at the poles. Now the chromosomes will move towards the poles like this. First pole, chromosomes will move towards the poles. And similarly here, chromosomes will be there at the poles. Clear? Like this. Now, the last phase of meiosis 1 is telophase 1. Telophase 1, it is basically characterized by the appearance of nuclear membrane and nucleolus. Okay, there will be cytokinesis. So basically what will happen, this cell, now it will divide into two. There will be cytokinesis. So it will divide into two. Second, I told you nuclear membrane will get formed. So now the chromosomes, they will be present inside the nuclear membrane. Clear? Like this. The chromosomes will now be in the nuclear membrane, inside the nuclear membrane. Okay? So this is telophase 1. Okay. Now today we had done meiosis 1. In our next class, we'll discuss about the different phases of meiosis 2 plus what is the significance of meiosis. Okay. Thank you.